Presentation is going live.
It's awesome, right? Unbelievable. Okay, push this button first. Hi, my name is Margolin. Together with Dana Richter, who's in the audience over there, we are part of a team of 7 admins in our Facebook group called Huntington Matters Community Forum and our page Huntington Matters. So I'm gonna, hi Huntington, she's streaming live into our group. Our group and organization was formed in the fall of 2014 after 4 murders in 1 year happened in a small area of our town of Huntington Station, New York. The last murder victim was an 18-year-old high school student who rode the bus with my son. She was killed at the end of my street. I live in an area that's been plagued with a long history of violent crime. So with each report of a stabbing, shots fired, an armed robbery, or an assault, I compartmentalized everything and pushed it a little deeper as a coping mechanism to convince myself that this space that my family lives in is something that's safe. But yet it kept coming closer. Our entire town lived like that. So when you live with this, it creates basically a phenomenon of self-segregation, and it's almost like a preservation technique. So we self-segregated over zip code, race, culture, age, street, and even school district. And it got to the point where we weren't even speaking at the school bus. So, sorry, it's nerve-wracking. Okay, thanks. I was up till 2 in the morning working on this and I'm still flubbing, but whatever, we're real here, right? Okay, so fear and apathy, also living like this, fear and apathy grew, and it led to a distrust of our local officials who were doing absolutely nothing and ignoring our town and our needs for literally decades, which convinced us that our voice as Huntington Station did not matter, okay? Until an innocent child was killed. Everybody woke up. Like that. The apathy fog cleared, and we demanded change. Our group was formed as an open forum to connect our neighbors and strip away those invisible walls that divided us, to empower us, and to participate in keeping our neighborhoods safe. We run the largest and most powerful neighborhood watch network exclusively using Facebook groups. We work with our police department and our local officials, and our group has been instrumental in shutting down drug dealers, cleaning up a massage parlor, and a bar that was hemorrhaging violent crime for years. Live in our group, we cracked a theft ring of ATVs and dirt bikes with moms following them. Yep. So, as soon as we formed and our neighbors started talking, it made a dramatic impact on our crime rates. They started to drop. Okay, so if we could do this, so can you. This is too tiny, I can't read that, I have to read it from there. Use engagement statistics to open doors, set up in-person meetings, use insights to build trust and transparency, and be a source of facts for your members. When we formed, the police department had very, very strict rules about how we would be running our neighborhood watch program. They made us use the old-fashioned model with block captains going door to door, knocking on all their neighbors' doors, gathering contact information, and planning these meetings in their homes where a police officer would come in, train them on what to look for and how to report suspicious activity. There was only one problem. We live in a violent crime area. Nobody answers their door. They're not giving you their phone number. And they're certainly not having a dozen people they don't know and a police officer in their living room. So after a year of really, really hard work, we were able to train in person 98 people in 1 year. So I approached my police inspector with an idea. I said, would you let me make a neighborhood watch tips post and put it in our business page, because at the time Groups wasn't tracking the insights, so that I could track what happens. So they gave me the permission, and a few days later I went back in person, sat down, taught them what it meant. In 24 hours, we reached 3,000 neighbors. 1,000 of them actually cared enough to click see more and read the whole post. Okay? After that, we got permission to transition and modernize our neighborhood watch using only Facebook, which was great. In the months that came, unfolded ahead, every time there was a milestone crime post that had anything to do with feedback about the police department, I would continue to share and explain the insights with my inspector, as well as his boss, the Commissioner of Police, which led to permission to videotape all of our monthly police precinct meetings and distribute them through our Facebook network. Our police inspectors are the only ones in the county of 7 precincts that have their own YouTube channel. Right away, we learned something very valuable. First, one post can be a catalyst for change. Ask questions, take notes, let them borrow your magic wand. That's a good one. Be the bridge to a solution. So again, right away we learned something very, very, very valuable that we didn't really realize, which is that crime is not the problem. Crime is a symptom of much, much, much bigger problems in a community. So towns that have a history of crime generally have a lot of code enforcement issues as well. We're talking about overgrown grass, illegal apartments, falling down buildings, and drug houses. We hosted a meeting with our community similar to this, and we invited our Director of Public Safety to come and address the crowd. He handed out these blank index cards to everybody to write down what their issues and concerns were. So at the end of the meeting, I volunteered to gather them up and type them up and make his life easier and send him the list. No problem. Except I sent it to him and all the town board members and the town supervisor and the 2 police inspectors with a note suggesting we all work collaboratively together to address these issues. Of course, I posted it in the group too, and the page. So we had thousands of members at the time, way more than could fit in this room. So what do you think happened? It exploded. Everybody added to the issues, and even more impactful were the conversations that developed from people who had attempted to solve these problems on their own with the Public Safety Department in prior years and had gotten nowhere. Keep in mind, all of our officials and their representatives read our group every day. Okay. Friday, I went to the Public Safety Director's office to return the index cards, just impromptu, and he happened to invite me in, which was great. We reviewed the list together. He told me all his plans of his various methods of what he was going to do to address some of the concerns, and I said, this is great. So I asked a ton of questions. One of them was, does the police department notify you when there's an arrest at a particular property? This is related to those drug houses and the houses with the 2 years of complaints about prostitution. So your towns actually have some things in place, usually, that they can actually assist and help solve those problems. But unfortunately, our town wasn't using it. So I was trying to find out how that network connected. So he said, oh yes, we do. We get the police reports, takes out a binder, shows it to me. The most recent report was dated December. It was March. That doesn't work. Director, if I gave you a magic wand, what would you like to see changed about this situation? Anything you want. I would like the reports once a week. Awesome. I'll see what I can do. We set a follow-up meeting for the next Tuesday where we were going to report back to each other on our progress. Right after that, I went directly to the police inspector. We had a conversation. I asked him if it was possible. For 3 years, they get their reports once a week now. So the next Tuesday Tuesday comes and half our admin team shows up for this meeting with our public safety director. Oh, also I updated the group, of course. You have to always update them on what's going on. So we show up for this meeting with the police inspector, with the public safety director at town hall with our admin team, and we're checking into security, and they say, I'm so sorry, Mrs. Margolin. The director of public safety has been fired today. Fired. We're like, what? But 15 minutes ago, we appointed a new interim director of public safety that would like to meet with you. So we met with him, and amazing man, amazing. You know who you are. Huntington, you know who he is. He dove in head first, tackled every single issue that we had with the transparency that our community needed to begin to heal. All of that change happened because of one post in our group, because the members were talking, and because it all happened out in the open where the supervisor could see. Okay? Take a look at these. In this situation, and in many, many since, we have been the bridge. Our organization and our group has been the bridge between where the town's reach ends and the police department's reach begins. They weren't communicating. So our intervention led to increased communication and a closer relationship between both of those agencies, which continues to this day and contributes to our historically low crime rates. On the left side of the screen are the crime statistics for our entire precinct, which covers 8 hamlets. On the right side of the screen is our one hamlet of Huntington Station. Do you see that? You see the difference? Mm-hmm. We were responsible for an awful lot of that crime. Now, 4 years later, after we formed and our neighbors are talking, we have had a 100% drop in the murder rate, a 30.8% drop in violent crime. If we could do it, so can you. Set up face-to-face meetings with the people who can actually change things. And I went too fast. Work with all of your officials and fellow community leaders, whether they're part of your organization or not. Calmly and courteously, guys, calmly and courteously discuss the issues. Take notes and video and share it with your members so they can feel like they're in the room with you when you're meeting the officials. They're the ones that are going to come up with your solutions and your ideas, okay? Always give them credit, too. Always come prepared to these meetings with a list of questions and some ideas for solutions, and also, most importantly, a willingness to do your part to help solve the problem. We no longer are residents in the town of Huntington. We're neighbors. We are connecting, empowering, and supporting each other every day, thanks to this little app called Facebook. We are Huntington Matters.
That's awesome.
So I think, do we have time for one question or we're done? One question, if you guys can come to the mic, yes.
Hi, I just actually have a comment. My name is Joe. I work for the Matthew Shepard Foundation. And one of the things we do, or actually the main thing we do, is train local law enforcement agencies and how to spot and prevent hate crimes. So I actually don't have a question, I just have a comment.
Sure.
The one big thing that we do also is bring back the trust between the community and police forces.
Yes.
And that's what you did. So on behalf of the foundation and everyone that works there, and the board, staff, and volunteers, thank you so much for doing the groundwork there, because without that, we'd be in a lot more trouble than we are now. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim. All right, you guys.